Game 82, and it will decide if we make it to the playoffs.
Hey, this is Brayden Shen. Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today, Locked On Blues, it is a simple episode. It's the Blues versus Utah. And tonight's game, we will have an answer if we know we're going to make it to the playoffs or if we have to wait and hope that the Flames lose to the Vegas Golden Knights. Here we go. All there is to say. I know that I am feeling on edge today, and I'm sure you are as well. This is a huge, huge game for us here in St. Louis. I think the way to approach tonight's game, it's a simple approach, and it is to win. It is to win, nothing else. That's all the Blues need to do. So let's just dive right into this game tonight. Obviously, it is the biggest game of the season. It is game 82. Yesterday, after practice, players such as Robert Thomas, Jordan Binnington, and Captain Brayden Shen talked about the importance of the game, and they know what's on the line. Coach Montgomery does as well. And I think for all of us here in St. Louis, or those who are Blues fans in general, we definitely know what is at stake. It is simple. It is the fact that the Blues could clinch a playoff spot tonight. Coach Montgomery said, "The word opportunity to me is such a positive word. It's an opportunity to seize the moment and to do something special. And that's what's in front of us." And Captain Brayden Shen said, "This is what we play for. Chances like this and opportunities like this, or it makes the game exciting. And to go out there and play hard for one another and play hard in front of our fans, I think we're all looking forward to the opportunity." And Coach Montgomery continued and he said, "There's a lot of experience in winning throughout our lineup, and I expect those guys to lead us." And obviously tonight, when you think about players that have had opportunity to win in tough situations, you have to think back to that 2018-2019 St. Louis Blues team that ended up winning the Stanley Cup when they were dead last in the Western Conference come the end of January. So that team went on an 11-game win streak. This team went on a 12-game win streak, and now they've lost 3 in a row. Not scoreless because they did get 1 point against Seattle, so at least that's something. But obviously tonight's game, there's a lot on the line because if the Blues don't win, you're going to have to hope that the Flames lose one of their next 2 games. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're feeling the pressure, so am I. Imagine how I feel. No, I know we're all in this together. Brayden Shen continued and he said, "The excitement's going to be in the building. The excitement's going to be there in the locker room. And we have to go out there and get the job done." So here's the thing. When I look at Utah, right, they're 2-0 so far on their 3-game road trip, right? They defeated Nashville 7-3, which makes me a little bit nervous. Captain, I love that he is the captain, by the way, Clayton Keller, with 4 points, 2 goals, and 2 assists, okay? Logan Cooley, 1 goal, 2 assists. So, obviously, this Utah team, I keep wanting to call them Arizona, but I'm trying my best not to still, has been doing really good. Robert Thomas is on an 11-game point streak as he had an assist on Saturday with 4 goals and 19 assists. And again, a player maybe on Utah to look out for is Logan Cooley, as I mentioned prior, collecting 65 points in 74 games, 25 goals and 40 assists, and 9 points with 3 goals and 6 assists in his last 4 games. Yeah. It's weird. It's really weird how nervous I am. So far, the St. Louis Blues' defense have combined 46 goals this season, which ranks 3rd in the NHL as the most combined goals by franchises Blue Liners in one season. 2018-2019 also had 46. So again, so many similarities. And that's why I wanted to point that out to you. that there is a lot of similarities between that 2018 and 19 team and the 2024-2025 team, right? So a lot of similarities. Colton Perico, he returned to the lineup on Saturday after missing 17 games due to injury. He scored his 16th goal of the season and extended his career high in goals, setting a new career high in points with 36. So again, despite missing 17 games, Colton Perico has been nothing short of excellent. But I think it's time to kind of talk about something that you all want to know. And Haley, what is the lineup for game 82 out of 82? It's so weird to me. And before I read this lineup to you, we've seen a lot of lineups with this team. I hate this. As a hockey person, I hate this. I love playoff hockey, don't get me wrong, but there's no greater game than hockey. And I truly mean that. And there is a part of me, and I hate to be negative, and I don't want to be negative, but I just need to be honest and transparent on this podcast. If the team doesn't make it to the playoffs, and knowing that this could potentially be the last time I read a lineup to you, that we do a game preview, thank you for first off watching and listening. And yeah, it just sucks. It just sucks knowing that that could be your reality. So I'm going to enjoy reading this lineup to you, and I hope you enjoyed as well. All right, so projected lineup for tonight, centering in the first line, it's Robert Thomas. To the left, it's Jakey Neighbors, and to the right, it's Bushi. Centering the second line, it is Captain Braden Shen. To the left, it's Snuggie, and to the right, it's Ruzi. Finally, centering the third line, it's Sonny. To the left, it's Mojo, Matthew Joseph, and to the right, it's Zach Bolduke, aka Zach Golduke. Finally, on the fourth line, it is Foxa centering, Alexei Torchenko on the left, and Nathan Walker, the Aussie, on the right, the WTF line. Finally, defense, we have Cam Fowler and Colton Perico, Philip Roberg and Justin Folk, Ryan Suter and Nick Leddy. Finally, in net, it is the one and the only Jordan Binnington. Also, if you're in St. Louis, you can get free mac and cheese through the Chick-fil-A app the week of the 14th, by the way. They just put that out there in the press release. I just wanted you to all to know you can get free mac and cheese because the Blues appreciate you. Not me, because I'm obviously not in St. Louis, which sucks. However, I can't even eat mac and cheese. This, to me, is a solid lineup. I'm not surprised whatsoever that Binnington will be in net. Broberg did miss Saturday's game. I believe it was due to personal reasons. I think he had a kid. So that is why Tyler Tucker is out of the lineup. But other than that, this is the same lineup that they had on Saturday. And here it is. I'm going to tell you all of the ways coming up in a second how the Blues can secure their spot in the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. But before I do that, I want to say a few things. One, Cam Fowler and Colton Perico for me makes me feel comfortable. Two, I know Justin Folk. He's been a little bit rocky. I'm not the biggest fan of him right now. However, he is still solid, okay? Maybe not the best season, but I have to trust it. I think Snuggie, by the way, playing with Shen and Kyrou is really good and really strong. I love Robert Thomas with having Jake Neighbors and Bushi next to him. I'm like reciting the whole lineup like through memory at this point because I am telling you, watching this team, I feel good. I feel really, really good. I don't think this team is going to lose 4 games in a row. I don't. I have a really hard time thinking that this is how it ends. Obviously, the road trip was not ideal, and it sucks. And that's the answer. It's not like there's a simple answer. It's the reality of that. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that this situation is even what it is. I wish the Blues were not in this situation. That would make everybody's life so much easier, including mine, right? But at the end of the day, this is where the Blues are at right now. Okay? You can't go back. There's nothing else this team can do. So they have to just accept it. It is what it is. The Blues know what they have to do, and that is to win. So that being said, I'm going to tell you all the ways that the Blues can secure their spot into the playoffs. But before I do that, I want to tell you about my friends over at Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing development, design, and more. Experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives you business flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who will be delivering incredible results. Posting a job is free and simple, and within a day, multiple qualified candidates to choose from. Instead of hiring full time, Upwork helps find affordable top tier freelancers to scale my business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for a free. That is UPWORK.com, Upwork.com, to connect with top talent and to grow your business today. The Blues have multiple ways of making it into the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs, and I'm going to tell you some of the ways because there is 5 different variations of ways that this can happen. The Blues easily can get in by defeating Utah in regulation, which is why this game is so important because it is the way for the Blues to have control and they don't have to depend on other potential outcomes. So that is option number 1, the easiest outcome. This is number 2. The Blues beat Utah in overtime or a shootout, and the Flames don't win in regulation versus the Golden Knights. Number 3. The Blues beat Utah in overtime or a shootout, and the Minnesota Wild lose to the Anaheim Ducks in regulation. Number 4. And this is where things get a little bit dicey. The Blues fall to Utah in overtime or a shootout, so they only gain 1 point. And the Flames lose to the Golden Knights in any fashion, so the Flames would be able to lose in overtime. Okay. 5. The Blues lose to Utah, and the Flames lose to Vegas in regulation. All games necessary for these scenarios will be played on Tuesday. The Flames do, by the way, have one more game in hand that I can tell you the scenario if like everything goes downhill bad. So the Flames play the Golden Knights tonight and then the Kings on Thursday. I believe from what I've written down, right? Let's go say the Blues lose. That's going to be like what we're going to do. The Blues lose, right? Overtime regulation. So let's go say the Blues have 95 points. They lose in overtime. Okay. Listen, I am telling you all of these possible scenarios because I, for one, love knowing how teams can get in and not get in. So this is what's going on. The Blues lose in overtime, right? They have 95 points. Okay. The Flames, let's go say they win tonight in regulation. They have 94 points. You would need the Flames to lose to the Kings, I believe, in regulation. Okay. So that's the one way. 2. This is where the Minnesota Wild come in hand. Minnesota has 95 points. They play their final game tonight against the Ducks, right? Let's just say the Wild lose. How would this make sense? The Wild lose. The Blues win tonight, so they clinch a spot. And then Calgary wins out. So that's another variation of what could happen. Okay. Then, Haley, what if the Blues lose in overtime? Great question. Glad you asked. Then you would just need the Flames to lose in regulation. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Blues lose completely in regulation to Utah. They have 94 points on the season. Minnesota has 95, so it's like the Blues and the Wild can flip in any way, right? How can the Blues make it to the playoffs? Well, here's the thing. If the Flames lose in overtime to the Golden Knights, they're not out yet because they still have another game on Thursday. You get what I'm saying? Because they would have 93 points. So the reality is, like, the Blues really just need to win to secure their spot. And the Wild too are in the same kind of situation right now where they need to win as well because they're not out of it, right? Like, as I said, if the Blues, if the Blues win and the Wild lose, Calgary could overtake the Wild spot. And I think that's where I get a little bit nervous, a little bit on edge, because it's simple, right? All the different scenarios. But I think with the Flames having a couple games in hand, it just makes it more of a reality. So, of something that may not go right, which is why I personally am a little bit nervous, right, about the game tonight. Because the reality is, and it's very simple, St. Louis, and the reality is if the Blues don't win, you're really betting, and it's ironic because they're playing the VGK, on the Golden Knights to win. And the Golden Knights this season, I mean, 107 points, good, right? But like you have to really count on the VGK. So we are betting right now house money on the Golden Knights to win in regulation if the Blues lose, or if the Blues lose in overtime. You get what I'm saying? So that is why I know we're not always fans of the Golden Knights. I do have a VGK sweater of Marc-Andre Fleury because you have to respect the GOATs in hockey. But yeah, you're really betting on the VGK to beat the Flames tonight in worst case scenario. So that being said, I want to talk about the Flames and the Golden Knights. Huge game. Vegas has 49 wins, 22 losses, and 9 points in OTL. Not 9 OTL. Flames 39, 27, 14, right? So let's go talk about why this game is so important and maybe some projected lineup for the Flames tonight. I mean, the Flames, they have Kadri, they have good players. They have Morgan Frost playing center of the second line. Interesting. Farabee's on the fourth line as a wing. Obviously, Dustin Wolf and net. Jake Bean. How about Jake Bean and Mackenzie Weegar? All right, let's go talk about the Golden Knights lineup because they're such a better team. And I am curious about who they have tonight because this is a Vegas team that I feel like is just so much better. It's we're counting on Brandon Saad, by the way, because on their first line, it's literally centering Thomas Hertl, and then to the left, it's Brandon Saad. So, like, that actually kind of cracks me up so much. I'm gonna actually make a tweet on Locked On Blues right now because that honestly cracks me up so much. We really need Brandon Saad to help us out tonight. Go. LOL. Because it's true, like literally. They also have William Karlsson, Riley Smith, our boy Ivan, okay. Obviously, Brady McNabb, Shea Theodore, White Cloud. Like, they have good players, right? So, like, they should get the job done. But it does crack me up that Brandon Sauter. Ooh, I miss him. Like, he didn't play well, but like I did like him. So, like, for what it's worth. But he is on the first line, which is actually insane to me. All right, let's go look at Money Puck because that's one of my favorite websites when I'm kind of talking stats and what could happen, what could go wrong, because I really do believe that this is cutting it close. Oh my God, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to be sick. So they have St. Louis, 88.5%, Minnesota, 97.7%, and then Calgary at 13.8%. Now, why does that make me feel sick? Because it does. Because we went from being at 96% down to 88%, which is telling me that the odds are still in our favor. But at the same time, they're giving Calgary a little bit more love. You know what's also interesting? In the East, they're having kind of like a similar situation, I guess, with the playoffs, right? Because the Montreal Canadiens, they lost to the this is insane. They lost to the Blackhawks in a shootout last night. And because of that, the Canadiens have 89 points, but the Columbus Blue Jackets are behind them with 85 points, and they have 2 games in hand, right? So if Columbus wins their next 2 games, they would have 89 points as well. and they would get the tiebreaker. And the Canadians have 1 game left. I'll talk more about that actually coming up. Well, no, I'll talk about it now. I don't care. We're having fun. Canadians, this doesn't make you feel better because like they're in a bad situation, right? So they have the Hurricanes tomorrow, right? And then the Blue Jackets. Oh, guess who they have tonight? Philadelphia. Okay. So, and then they have the Islanders on Thursday. So yeah, there is, and they're at 7%. So there is a chance for them, which is actually insane. All right, I'm going to talk to you about my friends, my favorite snack. It's Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days, whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or I just need a quick protein boost. They're always my go-to. And if you love crack and open every shell for that satisfying crunch, then the in-shell options are a classic favorite. So get snacking and get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Whew, deep breath in and deep breath out because it is almost time. I have to tell you, I am feeling it. I am feeling on edge. I am feeling nervous. I am feeling on edge. I am feeling every type of emotion that you can feel right now. Honestly, at the end of the day, this Blues team has my heart, right? I love them. However, it's just really difficult. It's really difficult. Crazy that Brandon saw because the Blues season. I know the Blues are feeling the pressure, right? We know what they need to do. This might be one of the biggest games in Blues history besides the finals. Well, not history. That's a little dramatic of me. Let's be honest. Like, I'm being dramatic, okay? The Blues could get wild card 1, which is kind of crazy, considering how Minnesota does. But wouldn't that be something if Minnesota loses, the Blues win, and then they get wild card 1, and then the Flames win out, and then they take over the 2 spot? Like, I'm just saying the dramatics. But I really need this Blues team to win. I love the Blues. I love this team so much. So it just doesn't seem like it's over. The season doesn't feel over. It doesn't seem over. It just seems like another bump on the road, right? But I know this team is capable. They are capable. So do not forget that tonight. St. Louis, hopefully I will have a reaction video, a positive one. I don't want to jinx anything, but this has been my favorite season covering the St. Louis Blues for you here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And there's nothing I love more than talking about the Blues. So, if that being said, let's do this. Keep the energy up. Feel good, feel positive. And like always, let's go Blues.